Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In the ultimate promoter of Millie, are you ready? Looking at the leader and manager QE, they resembled expired milk on silenceable, so Weizhi handed over the results. To her surprise, a greeting card appeared on the table with the back saying sorry for making her carry the whole load, but it was actually romantic lines about missing her. It was signed phone, and instantly Weizhi recalled that internal whistleblowing memo, "The sky seems to be everywhere." When manager QE outsourced the demolition legal work, that law firm happened to be Haozhu's old workplace. Upon seeing the field staff lay Weizhi, his face lit up like he just found a black cat. After all, the reason Haozhu resigned was that he used her relationship with Weizhi to make her withdraw the internal whistleblowing case. Talk about winning without a fight. Right now, what he's scheming about is this top-secret planning document. Whether the house sells well depends on this. He even stressed that not even family or friends can find out, because even if the compensation multiplies tenfold, the company still has to take down that restaurant. Coincidentally, today is the homeowner's discharge day. He carelessly stuffed the plan into his pocket, only to casually pull it out. The next day, he was searching for the plan like a headless chicken when Haozhu was cleaning. He actually found an unknown watch. He immediately called unknown, and as soon as he mentioned finding something, unknown mysteriously perked up. This is bad news. Even if Haozhu doesn't want to know, she'll end up knowing. Because according to his legal studies, if a top-secret document leaks, there are consequences. However, unknown still hadn't grasped the seriousness of the issue. He was hesitating whether or not to tell the homeowner, because this was a secret that could double the compensation. He thought that if he knew and didn't tell, it'd be deceiving the homeowner. Honestly, his expression showed that he couldn't keep quiet. Before he could inform the homeowner about his findings, the homeowner beat into it by pulling out a detailed plan from his pocket, and the gnome was left feeling quite puzzled and confused. The homeowner looked off and surprisingly asked if he had prepared the closed for business sign for Sunday. Reflecting back on the previous agency, a daring suspicion. Turns out the homeowner looked like a total illiterate. Haozhu had already noticed the homeowner's reading difficulties. Now that's juicy gossip. For these two who fell into the law firm trap, this could be the golden opportunity to turn the tables. But before that, he got two pieces of bad news, one from his sister Weizhi. She quit the Strawberry Patch job because someone was spreading rumors about her and the Strawberry Patch boss, so she decisively quit. Sister plans to switch back to her old self next week, but just then she got a second piece of bad news. Her classmate is getting married on the weekend. She didn't want to go at first, but after hearing that Haozhu and her female classmate would be attending, she mysteriously agreed. However, along the way, she kept smooth talking, claiming that a pair of mysterious couples would show up. Was she pulling a trick? And those mysterious couples she mentioned were actually Weizhi and her ex-boyfriend. It was clear that Weizhi didn't know the destination. Only then did the ex-boyfriend reveal the truth. To prevent unknown from having a meltdown, he kindly gifted her an expensive item and casually mentioned he had booked a super luxurious sea view room. Any girl would swoon after hearing that. The funniest part? The guy said it so matter-of-factly. But after hearing Weizhi probing, he thought for a moment and said, "You're not Yu Mingxin, right?" At that moment, the male classmate had already sat down at Haozhu's table with unknown, starting to tease and reveal the identity of the surprise guest. "In fact, I also brought a beautiful jade, but the problem was what he said afterwards." "In fact, I also brought a beautiful jade," and Haozhu's tone immediately stunned unknown. Among the four, only the female classmate walking with Haozhu kept her head low. Even when Haozhu joked to cheer unknown up, she didn't care. Until Haozhu could no longer contain herself, she got up to pull Jai back, and the fire behind Haozhu flared up immediately. They left without looking back. "We're leaving first." Unknown found it strange, as she had never seen Haozhu like this. The male classmate, seeming to have lost face, exposed the conflict between her and Haozhu, revealing that the initial crush of the ex-boyfriend wasn't unknown at all. It was that. But he not only didn't refuse directly, he also dragged unknown out as a human shield and even encouraged the ex-boyfriend to confess to unknown. Then, during the time the ex-boyfriend was pushed to confess, he watched the whole situation unfold and roasted her mercilessly, which led to a fight between Haozhu and that man. Ever since Saw became deaf, she was no longer a silent observer. She could totally read various expressions. Whether it was the ex-boyfriend or the old classmate's secrets, she was totally aware. The ex-boyfriend's character wasn't bad at all. On the day they started dating, he had confessed everything to unknown, so her shock now was simply irrefutable. The male classmate even thought she was interested too. While belittling Haozhu's cunning, he made fun of the ex-boyfriend's idiocy. He completely missed the glint in unknown's eyes that screamed, "I'm going to kill you." In the end, if the previous embarrassment was perhaps both their faults, then this time, it's definitely the male classmate's fault. To make sure nobody recognized her, unknown muttered to herself, "You truly are someone from my Lu secretaries. You avoid Lu Miss House next week." She pushed him hard, but even as unknown rushed out, she still couldn't find Haozhu, and because she ran too fast, her old injury flared up again. It really felt like a double whammy. But she quickly learned that Haozhu was still in the parking lot, and as soon as she heard that Haozhu was going to meet Anoan, the female classmate suddenly blurted out something shocking. She isn't a secret, she's Liu Mai. But what was even more shocking followed. I know too. Actually, that night when Unknown got drunk, Haozhu had already guessed her identity and even poked at her name by the bedside. In the end, she impatiently shouted, "Mai, I don't want to die." So only Liu Weizhi remained in the dark. Even when faced with Haozhu's request, she insisted on pretending to be an ignorant sister. It was just too funny.